Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Gaskins here. Let me see. Remember, I still learning how to work this here chat. Now the way I'm gonna do it, I was gonna get questions in advance, but I just I rather be on the fly. So what you'll do is put a question in the chat, and then when I see it, then I'll answer that question. And then after you see me done with that question, then post your next question versus posting a question while I'm talking because I'm not really reading while I'm talking. Is it deceptive to not tell a man you are a virgin, being that you said you should not tell him that you are waiting for marriage? That's a good question. Um, when I said you shouldn't tell him that you're waiting for marriage, what I really mean by that is you shouldn't tell him within like the first month, the first maybe even 2 months. Like it shouldn't be on your calling card. It's not something that you have to keep secret forever, but you want to allow a man the opportunity to get to know you and to fall for you before you go and tell him you're waiting until marriage. Now, when it comes to being a virgin, the same almost applies, but virginity is different because unless with your virginity, you know for a fact, like if most virgins, if you've come past, 21, 22, then you're pretty much committed until marriage. So when you say, I'm a virgin, that's different than saying I'm waiting until marriage. Because when you say I'm waiting until marriage, meaning that I want to be abstinent until marriage, that means you've already been there. You rode that bicycle before and you know what that is like. So it's easier to slip up. Whereas when you're a virgin, it's much harder to slip up. So and virginity, to be honest with you, now if it's an absolute dog, then it's a challenge to him. But if it's not an absolute dog, then virginity is a huge, huge plus to a real man because he will appreciate that and he will say, "Wow, I'll be special. Like this will be special." He might not be a virgin, but he will appreciate you, and that also gives you the opportunity to be a little picky too, because there are men who are virgins. Actually, an NFL game going on right now, and one of the guys, Tyler Lockett, I've talked to him a few times. He follows me on Twitter. I think a article came out about a poem he wrote. He's a virgin, and I think he's 27. So there are men who are waiting until who are virgins and waiting until marriage as well. And I coached another NFL player who was a virgin, and I know another guy who's around that same going on 30, who's a virgin. So it's out there. So when y'all see me answering a question, don't post your question. Wait until you see me done, then post it so it'll be fresh. And I will not be able to get through all of these. Does moving to a new city or state make sense when pursuing love to meet new people? Yes, it makes sense. It makes sense because not only will you be in a different place where you can meet someone, but you also will be in a different place where you can spread your wings, you can get better jobs, you can, do more, you can have a better quality of life. You have more so that when you attract your husband and you have children, they're being raised in a place that has more to offer. Like for example, where I live at, where I grew up at, if I went back there to Arbondale, Florida, they don't even have high quality travel teams for soccer. So I have to be in a bigger city so that my son can play on a higher level elite soccer team because his goal is to go pro. So I say that to say, yes, sometimes it is time for you to move from your hometown or from wherever you're staying if you see that it's not offering enough for your growth. Is it ideal for a man to not date because he's focused on himself and his career, or is that his way of saying he's not interested? That's a good question. And typically, hey, for one, before I go too deep, I just want to thank all y'all for being members. Anybody who is confused, anybody you see who writes a question and they have that little green sign or any color sign, that means that they are a member of the channel, part of the Blessed Tribe, and they committed to give $1.99 a month for exclusive content, but more so really just to support me. So I really, really appreciate y'all. A lot of men, to be honest with you, that is an excuse. For most men to say, I'm focusing on me, I'm focusing on my career, it's an excuse. For most men. You will find some men though, but with those men, understand this. He will have everything else in his character that lines up with it. So this guy will be you will be able to see with the way he carries himself, his faith, his speech, meaning the way he speaks, the way he dresses, where he goes, what he does. Now, if it's old guy who he's getting drunk, he's going to the club, he's smoking weed, he cursing like a sailor, he doesn't really have any faith, a belief system, then it's a complete excuse. It doesn't have to be that drastic either. But if you see that his lifestyle does not line up with someone who is focused and driven, then it's an excuse. And men will hit you with that. And the reason why men will hit you with that is because, to be honest with you, men don't like to directly hurt a woman's feelings. So the alternative of that lie would be to say, I'm not really into you because of you ain't got no booty and I'm looking for one with a booty. Like the alternative would be him having to say something. I'm clicking these buttons. Antagona, I really, really appreciate you. I really thank you for your support. I think you're in another country because it says SEK. So I'm thinking that. Hi, Tony. Where is a man coming from, thoughts and motivations and goals, when he is operating from his ego in dating? Also, how does a man move from operating from ego to operating from love? That's a great question. A man who's operating from ego, essentially what that is a man who was kind of lame growing up. He was kind of ostracized. He was kind of left out. He was kind of overlooked. He was hurt by women. The woman he wanted, the women he wanted didn't want him. He maybe had some other type of insecurities or issues. So, and it could range from anything. It could have been his skin tone. It could have been his teeth. It could have been his weight, his race. It could have been anything. Being privileged amongst people who were poor, being poor amongst people who were privileged. So just a man's childhood wounds makes him insecure, which makes him weaker. And so that causes him as an adult to operate from ego, because when someone is operating from ego, they are operating from a place of weakness. Because when you are humble and when you are truly confident, confidence is rooted in humility. And when you are humble, you don't operate from ego. So what has to happen really with that type of man is he has to meet someone, male or female, a mentor, a woman he's trying to sleep with, and he has to be called out. Someone has to speak right to the issue. Someone has to say, listen, you faking and you fronting, and you more than that. And you need to grow up and get it together. And that's what happened with me. I was operating from ego, just from my insecurities. And my wife, she looked me in the eyes and she said, listen, you in the streets, trying to sell drugs, trying to be tough, but that's not you. You're not a goon. You're not a goon. Like, you better than that. You're smart, you gifted, you're talented. Use your gifts. Stop trying to be something that you're not. And I was highly offended. I'm like, really? You gonna tell me I ain't no goon? Like you gonna tell me I ain't I ain't real? But it really was a gut punch, and I was like, wow, okay, let me get out these streets, because she just pulled my card. And that's what has to happen. A man, somebody that a man respects and values, or is trying to get to that place. Erica, thank you so much. I'm 31 and he's 45. Is this too much of an age gap? He has no kids and has never been married and a great career. Any red flags? Mia, thank you for being a member. Y'all forgive me for the other questions I answered and I didn't say your name. Somehow I can't hardly see your name. Okay, you 31, he's 45. That age gap is way too big. The reason being is he old enough to be your daddy. It's men who it's women who had children at 12, 13. I know one woman had a child at 10, another one had a child at 13, a whole bunch have 14, 15. So he old enough to be your daddy in this day and age, to be honest with you. And this is what a lot of times we don't think about, and I want y'all to really think about this, is when you look at age difference, you really have to take it all the way back. Somebody had her child at 15, Glenn Ross. So that's my point exactly. Like when you get across that 10-year difference, that person could be your parent. And so what you have to do is, when you're looking at age difference, and a lot of people don't like to do this, don't like to think about it like this, but you got to look at it like a newborn dating a 14-year-old, and then ask yourself, how does that look? And the reason why I say that is because them 14 years that he has on you, that's 14 years of game that he knows that you don't know. That's 14 years of lines that he knows that you don't know. That's 14 years of tricks and tools that he has that you don't have. And so that's why it's dangerous when you date so far apart. Now, if it's just a couple years, a few years, that's different. But when you think about it that other way, now you get to see, like, that's why they say it's like taking candy from a baby. Because imagine a 14-year-old walking up to a baby and the baby holding that 14-year-old's favorite piece of candy. Thank you. The baby just screaming and yelling, ah. And what the baby gonna do? Swing on him? Baby can't even walk. Baby don't know how to defend itself. Baby don't know what to do. And that's why these age gaps in relationships can be dangerous, because it literally becomes like taking candy from a baby. And so I'm 35. If I'm dating a 21-year-old, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. She don't know nothing. She knows nothing. None of the games, none of the tricks and trades and the tools that's in my belt. She won't see what hit her. And so you got to be careful. And then the other thing what you got to think about is, y'all from two different generations, so essentially you like different type of music, you want to do different type of things. So when you got 14 years apart and you thinking about marriage, and you thinking about until death does us part, you can't just think about the right here and now. You also got to think about when he's 60 and you are 45. And 45, you might be in your prime. 60, he might be getting ready to go down the other side of the mountain. And when he's 74 and you're 60, like we all know somebody, a woman that's 60 years old. A lot of women that's 60 years old still vibrant, still, rocking and rolling. But then you think about a man that that's 74, that's going to be something that's real vibrant. But a lot of them, they walking slower, they talking slower, they acting different. They really ain't with all that they were with 15 years ago at 60. So you got to think long term, not just like, oh, I'm 31 and I'm looking for some security, and he's 45 and he got that bag because he got a great career and we could travel around the world right now. You got to think beyond that. Does a grown boy ever miss the access to the other woman after she has found her worth? Does a grown boy ever experience pain or regret? Um, that's a great question, and the answer is no. So when a person is doing something that is in their mind acceptable and normal, you can't really regret something that is acceptable and normal. And it's even I say this the same thing right now with like the Me Too movement. It's like we live in a world that has normalized so much stuff, and it has made like a lot of women have accepted a role of being ran over, being the other woman, being less than, and men have been reinforced for it. So when it's normalized in society, it's hard to have regret over something that's so normal. And so a grown boy never really regrets anything in the true sense of the word regret, which would mean to me to come back and apologize and to repent. I no, it's not real. And the other thing you have to say to yourself is, why am I worried about that? Why am I wasting time on that? Why am I asking that question? Like, let me just forget it. Let me work on me. Let me heal. Let me grow. And it's easier said than done, but anything worth doing is easier said than done, but it has to be said in order to be done. So you kind of got to look at it differently. I'm starting to focus on healing myself. How can I help my sons become functional and know love? When you heal yourself and you work on yourself, you will be the example. What you deal with, what you tolerate, how you carry yourself, that'll be their example. It's 12 months after dating too soon to get married? No. If y'all were consistent for 12 months and you talking an hour a day, then no, it's not too soon. But if you were every other day, every 4 days, once a week, you took a month off, took 2 months off, yes, it's too soon. How do you support a man in his growth without becoming Bob the Builder? Um, it's real, cute when somebody said Bob the Builder, and but it doesn't mean what it sounds like. So to support a man in his growth means that he is actively growing. It means that he is progressing. It means that he's getting better every day. It means that he's moving forward. So to support him is to be there, to be beside him, not to enable him, not to be a crutch, not to give him something he doesn't deserve, not to carry him, not to pay his bills. Paying his bills, letting him live off of you, letting him hold your car, that's not support. That's enabling him. But if he's doing the right thing, speaking life into him, affirming him, hey, I really respect what you're doing. Keep going. It looks amazing on you. Do your thing. Melanie Reed, thank you so much for your support, for your donation. I see you're not a member, but for those of you who are not members, and I don't even know if members have that option in the super chat, it has like a dollar sign and it may say a number. When you hit that, I think you pay something or it charges you. I haven't been on that side of it, but it shows you, even if you're not a member, it'll show me your question and your submission. So I thank you for what you submitted. Can a man change after messing with married women? Yes, a man can change. Any man can change. Look, you talking to one that was the absolute worst. That was the absolute worst. So I am a firm believer in change, but hey, it has to be changed. Like it really, you will know change. Um, you will know change when you see it. But if it's still doing the same things, then no. I am Pentecostal and have a very conservative lifestyle. Men are typically attracted to me upon my appearance, but once they learn how modest of a life I live, we encounter issues. How can I help this? You can't help it. You can't help it, and you should not change. But it's plenty of Pentecostal men out there. So you might need to go to a bigger church, join the singles group, get out more, join the life groups, get on the bowling team, start serving more, go to the soup kitchens. Just get out, create a routine that has you out and about. There's plenty of Pentecostal men that's single and that will understand your lifestyle. Hi, Tony. I'm guilty of enabling my husband. We have been together since we were teens. How do I support him becoming more independent? He doesn't even try anymore. I hate to lie to you. Uh, I hate to tell you the truth, but those situations is they are it's pretty tough because once a man has your number and he's complacent and he's used to you, it's just ran its course. If a man is in that space and he's been with you since y'all were teens, then something very drastic has to happen. Something traumatic may have to happen. A lot of times, teen relationships last long out of an addiction, out of familiarity, out of soul ties, but not out of real love. And eventually, 15, 20 years down the line, y'all wake up and realize that you totally different people. And it just doesn't work. But it's hard for a man to change when he's familiar. Familiarity breeds contempt, and when a man knows you like his shoe size, like the back of his hand, it's hard for him to respect you and what you add to his life. How long should you date before going into a relationship? 3 months. 3 months. And if at 3 months the man is not ready, then it's time to keep it moving. Why would a runaway husband come back after years away? Ingrid, thank you so much for your gift. I really appreciate you. Um, a runaway husband would come back because he thought he wanted something else. He thought there was better out there. He thought that the grass would be greener on the other side, but come to find out, it wasn't. His upgrade turned out to be a downgrade, and he realized that if he's not willing to change, then nothing changes. Elaine, thank you so much. It says your message is retracted. You may have to submit it again. And so that's why he comes back. Really, just out of familiarity. Really, it's the soul tie. It's that situation where he thought he was going to be upgrading, but he didn't change in between you and whoever else he went to. And those women got tired of him, kicked him to the curb, or he realized what he was trying to get wasn't going to happen. Hi, Tony. Does asking a man for advice create connection, or can it put you in the friend zone? It does create connection. It does create connection because men love to be needed. Men love to be needed. That's why a lot of self-proclaimed independent women struggle because they say, "Hey, am I intimidating men? Am I intimidating men?" And it's not that men are intimidated. It's just that a man may feel like there's no use for him in your life if you know it all and you have it all and you got it all together and you don't value outside input. So to ask a man for advice, it really, really, really creates connection. It's actually, I've never even spoke on that, but that's actually like a secret way to get a man to fall in love with you. Because the more a man expresses himself, the more he falls in love. And so that really is why teachers fall in love with the mentee. The mentor falls for the mentee. The boss man falls for the assistant. That's really why, because that man is feeling needed. Hey Tony, I'm serious about God and growing my relationship. My boyfriend said and showed he wanted the same at the beginning, Don't want to force anything, but I want him to grow also. Any suggestions? It depends on how long y'all been together and this here boyfriend. So now if y'all been together for more than a year and he's still stagnant, then you could be wasting your time. But growth should be something that it comes natural. You can speak into his life, you can encourage him, but you cannot carry him. So if he's not actively seeking growth and trying to get better, then you could be barking up the wrong tree. And so you got to put a timeline on your energy and your effort and then see if he's going to respect it. We broke up 4 years ago, and I'm happy now because he was never going to love me the way I needed him. The love I gave away to him, I'm giving to myself and children now. Okay, you didn't have a question on. God bless you. That's amazing what you're doing, and that's powerful when you get into that space. How can you build the foundation of friendship without becoming a forever friend? You should be dating, but being friends. So being friends don't mean you're not in a relationship. Y'all can be exclusive and be in a relationship, but being friends just means that you conversating, you talking, you going to the movies. You know, me and my wife are friends. You know, we still building our friendship. When you get stuck in the friend zone is when y'all don't establish that you're attracted to one another and that you can see yourself being with each other and becoming exclusive. That's when you get stuck in the friend zone. Hi Tony, why would my ex, who basically told me he was in love with his ex-girlfriend who he was seeing while dating me, be looking at my pics and liking on social media? Um he just bored. You know, he just bored. He just want to keep you in the Rolodex. He want to keep you in the rotation. He want to mess with your head. Anointed Stilettos, thank you so much for your gift. You already a member, I believe. You a member and you blessing me. Hey, I really, really appreciate you. That really blessed my heart. Hi Tony, what does it mean when a man likes other women's pictures on Instagram? He is 27 years old. He is African man. I'm 26 years old woman, 3 months in a relationship. Let me see you. You ain't got no real picture. So cause you say he an African man. If you was trying to make a point, cause if you a European or a Caucasian, cause I wonder why you making a point that he African. Now, if you mean African, I don't know if you mean from Africa or if you mean he live in Africa or he live in Africa, he African American. But either way, anything relating us with Africa got some gusto in them, got some libido, got some testosterone. And I'll tell y'all the truth. A man liking a woman pictures on Instagram, especially like the only pictures that I like of a woman on Instagram is if she posts my book. If she posting something of me, she posts a picture with me from a seminar, she posts my book, you know, she posts a screenshot or something. But if she posts a selfie, I'm not liking another woman. I am Persian and he is African Angola. Okay, you Persian. Do y'all have money? Because I heard Persians have money. I did had a show. It didn't have a show about Persians that have money. And I'm curious if y'all live in the same city or if y'all online dating. Now, if you met him online and you online dating and he is liking other women pictures from the internet and you met him from the internet, and if you in Persia and he in Africa, you wasting all of your time. You wasting every second of your time. Now, you have to be living with him in the same house for y'all to even have a chance, like, or in the same city, seeing each other every week, for you to have a chance if he's online liking women pictures. And what I was gonna say, okay, y'all close. That means he's still dating. That means he's still open. That means he's still looking. And the reason why a man likes a woman's pictures online is because it comes up in her notifications. So what he's trying to do is get her attention. That's the only reason. Because men don't care that much. Men is not, pat on the back type, unless it's a friend, unless it's something charitable, unless it's like something real. But if you see him like a selfie, if you see him like a bathing suit picture, if you see him like an outfit of the day, if you see him like something that's just irrelevant, then he's trying to get her attention. Point blank, period. And he's not serious about you. He's still very wide open. He's very wide open. Tips to creating multiple revenue stream. That's a great question. Outside of the relationship space, she say, "Hey, I'm trying to get to this bag now. Y'all ask about these men's." Well, I tell you what. This is what I do. I identify my natural gifts, and I got a course on this on TonyGaskinsAcademy.com. So y'all know how to spell my name, Tony Gaskins, and then you know how to spell academy. So put in TonyGaskinsAcademy.com, and I got all these courses on there where I really go in depth on it. And that, again, for me, that's another stream of income. I took my knowledge, I took my experiences, and I put it into a course, and then I market it online. That's an example of another stream of income. I'm taking my knowledge right now and I'm putting it online on YouTube. That's another stream of income, because YouTube will pay you. They'll put ads on your videos. And then if your videos get ads, or advertisers want to put their ads with your video, then you can earn income. It all varies. There's no salary. It's nothing set. It could be zero. It could be a million. Not me a million, but some people making millions. So I say that to say, identify your gifts, your natural gifts, then identify your passions, and then see which can be married. Because I can have a passion for singing, but I can't sing. So your passion may not be your gift, and your gift may not be your passion, but you can become passionate about your gift. So I was not passionate about giving relationship advice because I'm a man, and it's breaking the man law, and it's hard to go against your nature and against the laws of the land every single day, day in and day out. That's very, very hard. But I had to become passionate because I realized that I have wisdom in the space, and that I can articulate what I'm thinking and feeling, and that not everyone can do that, that not every man can do that. So your gift is something that not everybody can do equally as well. That's your gift. And then you take that gift and you put it in the marketplace wherever you can be compensated for your gift. So that's how it works. And then so you could put it on YouTube, but then you also can put it on iTunes, but then you also can put it on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. All of those are revenue streams. And so that's how you create. Blessings, Coach. Where'd you get the inspiration for your message on Black Book Syndrome? Did someone email you about it? No, I came up with that years and years ago. When I just was talking about, how men always coming back. Men always, and so the inspiration, the title, I just made it up, just knowing a black book is where people used to keep their contacts, and then syndrome, I don't know what syndrome fully really means, technically means, but, so I just kind of put it together, play on words. And I try to do that because, when you're giving out information, you want to try to label some stuff, give it your own coined phrase. Hello, Tony. My ex-boyfriend tells about his house guests and I can't come visit. When I found out it was a female and to introduce me, he says it would be weird. Why? And still wants to be friends. Your ex-boyfriend. Okay, your ex. Yeah, you got to cut him all the way off. Cut him all the way off. Move on with your life. Put your track shoes on. Stop looking back at him. Stop asking questions about him. Stop thinking about him, and move on with your life. Don't ever entertain an ex. Ever entertain an ex, because your energy become X energy and it block your next energy. So you cannot attract your next if you still entertaining your ex. So you got to remember that. But Tony, if an ex-husband comes back, how to tell if the return is genuine and not ego? It's always ego. It's always ego. It's always ego. Uh, a man, if a man wanted you, he wouldn't have left you. And so that's what you always have to realize. Now, if what he was doing made you leave him, then that's different. But if you left him and he really, really wanted you and he's of age and this your husband, he would have been working with you the next day, working for you the next day, and working for you nonstop, so hard, so consistently. And then if he's an exception to the rule and it's real, then what happens is he will look different. He will walk different, talk different, not literally walk different, but you know what I mean. So if he looked like Judas when you was married to him, when he come back, he gonna look like Christ. And that's what I mean. So his energy will feel different. But if he's using the same words, he got the same demeanor, he get into the same little ways about himself every now and then it's ego. My ex tried to cheat on me, but the girl rejected him. Then he introduced me to her without me knowing anything. Why did he introduce the girl to me? I do not know. I do not know why he did that. No, he just real confused. I do not understand that one. I don't understand that one. Ingrid, I wish I would put that on Instagram. CJ, appreciate you. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. I'm not used to seeing men on here. I sure appreciate you. I don't know if you're married or if you're single, but if you're single, you're in the right place. You might meet your wife. How to deal with a co-parent who is twice my age, a co-parent who is twice my age and uses my child to spite me by blaming me for not seeing her. Every time I bring up his child, he takes personal shots at me. He will never be with me. To deal with somebody like that, you just can't deal with them. The point blank period. It's no remedy for insanity. It's no remedy for stupidity. It's no remedy for ignorance. When somebody just acting ignorant on top of ignorant, I just don't deal with them. I'll focus 100% solely on you and your child. Focus on your child and don't give him any energy that you are not required to give him by law, by the court. And don't go up and down with him, highs and lows. Just focus on your child. Ulysses, hey, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for your blessing. That means a lot, my brother. Tony, had my brother tell me all stressing about the fact that he was on the phone the other day with his lady, and then she got a call from some guy she worked with. She must didn't know he was still on the phone. I ain't get to see the end of your question. He was stressing. Oh, he heard their conversation and he asked her about it if they were friends, and she said yes. And he also asked to hang out with her. She said okay, but he didn't hear nothing else because it hung up. Let me see this other one. So you say this is your brother? Sound like he been thinking about what to say when he addresses this to her, especially for the fact he feels it was disrespectful, especially for her to hang up on him for the guy who called her. Should he be worried and upset at the least? He ought to be leaving. Yeah, JC. Nah, don't tell Ulysses to become a member, cause Ulysses, hey, Ulysses, look here, Ulysses got a bag on him. Ulysses, hey, I appreciate you, brother. Ulysses, if you a member for 199, brother, hey, God trying to use you. You hear me? God is trying to use you, brother, cause you just that's $40 that you just bless your brother with. Hey, brother, listen here. Brother, listen here. You listen. Hey, God bless you. I'm commanding heaven send a blessing your way. You hear me? You about to have me on here like Peter Popoff with some holy water and a rag to put in the mail to you, brother. Hey, I really appreciate you. But I'll tell you this right here. When a man dealing with a woman, and tell your brother this here. When a man dealing with a woman who she moving like a man, meaning that she's learned how to juggle men. She learned how to date multiple men because it's not natural for a woman. Like a lot of women, they say, "Listen, Tony, all this multiple men dating and all this too much for me." For a lot of women, that's not natural. So when a woman taps into that and she learns how to do that, that's some savagery on her hands. Like she getting good, and when she gets savagery, like a lot of men get that savagery, she's smarter than a man. Women naturally smarter than men because they think with both sides of the brain. So what happens is when you dealing with a woman that's smarter than you and she's slicker than you, she's smoother than you. She ain't that smooth because she got caught, but that's dangerous. That's a danger zone. That's a danger zone, and he got to pull back. He got to pull back. He got to sit and he got to watch. He got to sit and he got to watch, and he got to pay attention. He got to listen. Don't even tell her that he knows. He just got to watch her behavior for a little bit if he really like her. But it sounds like to me, be honest with you, brother, he he dating out his league. So what I mean by that is it might not technically be out of his league, but what I mean is it sounds like to me he's into her, but she's not sold on him. And so she might have him in that box of um he nice, but I'm not attracted. She might have him in that box. So with that type of situation, she's still looking for her bad boy. She's still looking for the man that she's attracted to. And he gonna end up, paying a price for it. Because when a woman is into a man, it's easy for a woman to shut everything down. If she into a man, she could lock it down and be focused on one man way easier than a lot of men can. Sometimes men date automatically and think it's exclusive, but it's nice. Hey, that's a good thing. I'm looking for a question. How can I be more assertive when I know a relationship won't work and break it off? I'm too nice. If you're not gonna be assertive, then life just gonna eat you alive, and it's gonna get you to a place to where you're gonna have to be assertive. You just ain't been broken enough. You ain't been beat down enough by life, and if you keep playing with it, that's what's gonna happen. So I advise you to get real assertive and be very intentional about your dating before you lose your legs. Any tips on dating in your 40s? Um, Create a routine. Create a routine. Create a schedule. I think a lot of us don't have a day schedule. And what I mean by this is you have to be very intentional. So you have to have a situation to where you every Saturday you say I'm going to Starbucks from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm working on my business plan, I'm working on my business, working on my dream, but I'm out of the house. Every Friday from 6 to 7, I'm walking through the mall. I'm walking around the mall. I may pop in one store, get me one little gift, $12 shirt out of H&M, but I'm walking through the mall. Then I'm going to sit down in the food court for 30 minutes and I'm going to have me a little snack, my little acai berry smoothie or whatever, and I'm gonna sit there, by myself. On Sunday, I'm going to church. On Wednesday, I'm going to the life group. So you create a schedule to where you getting out of the house. And when you do that, because most people just go to work and go home, and then or they go to same thing for the 50s, or they go to the grocery store or the gas station, but they head down. They on the phone. They talking. You're not with your head up on a swivel, looking people in the eye, speaking. You're not doing those things. I don't know if anyone could say. I don't know if anyone could say she out of his league, because she really out of his league, because she's 36 and he's 29 and she has an 8-year-old daughter and she only works part-time while he makes 160 a year. Um, that's a good point, Ulysses. Hey, now Ulysses, now any other questions you have, brother? Cause hey, cause no, hold on, Ulysses. Okay, you asking this question about yourself, because the way you blessing me is reminiscent of a man who make 160,000 a year. Because, brother, you blessed me with $50 a night. So you almost done paid for a session. Well, a session is 200, but you almost paid for a session. And I just, I'm when I say Lord bless Ulysses, I really mean that. I really mean that, brother. But this is what I'm gonna tell you is that a lot of women, because I think I have a video that talks about standards versus preferences. And the issue is that some women can't differentiate between standards and preferences. So your brother may make 160K a year, and here she is, got kids and only working part-time. But her type might be a thug. So her preference may be tattoos, bunch of muscles, gold teeth, whatever it may be. And I'm saying this because I know a lot of women like this. Whereas your brother may be head on right, good man, 160K a year, just Mr. Right, Mr. Perfect. And uh she want a bad boy. She want the thug. And so I see this happen all the time, where a woman have a man who got good money, good morals, everything going for him, will give her the world, will treat her like a queen, but she wants a thug. She want a thug with money. She want a bad boy. And the reason why is because she looking for a daddy. She looking for a dad that she could sleep with. Now, Ulysses, the ladies is telling you that they have come to the conclusion they think that man is you, and they saying let her go, Ulysses. And Ulysses, if that is you, it's a lot of it's a lot of single ladies in here, and your head on straight. You're a good man. Okay, Ulysses, I see your donation done went down to 5. Now, I appreciate that, brother. Like, I really don't want you to keep doing those donations like that, man. You really bless my heart. I'm trying to see you, Ulysses. I can't really see, and I don't want to come too close because I don't want all my flaws and imperfections to be all in the camera. I'm trying to see you, Ulysses, but you're in the car with the sun. I can't really see you. No, I make money, but not like my brother. I'm just concerned about him to get advice because he has been really depressed and losing it. Ulysses, tell your brother to sign up for a session. I got him. I help him out. But it sounds like honestly that he wants a woman that he's seeking approval, not love. He's seeking approval. And so what happens is a man set his sights on this woman. and she may have a perfect body or all of this, and so he wants her. And that's what happens a lot of times with us as men. I call it nickels wanting dimes, and not in a disrespectful way, but to say like a man might see himself as a dime, but the woman might see him as a nickel. And so she look at it like a nickel, and then she thinking she a dime. So nickels dating dimes, and so what happened is it take you for granted. Hey, I only got 10 more minutes. So if you got a question and I'd have missed it. Now see, some of y'all keep getting y'all question in, and some of y'all good with timing that question. Angelique, let me get somebody else, Angelique, cause you timing that question right. Angelique, listen to what I said in the beginning. I say post your question when you hear me done answering the other question. Don't post it while I'm talking because I won't see it. Dating a guy for 4 months. He confessed to lying about not doing 2 deal breakers of mine. I forgave him, but now I have trust issues with him. How do I rebuild trust, and how do I know he's not lying? You know what? Because you're at 4 months, you safe. You safe because he's still getting to know you. He's still learning you. The issue is when a guy is breaking deal breakers after 12 months. But at 4 months, and then now these deal breakers, now you didn't mention, now look at Ashley, Ulysses, are you a man of God? Because Ashley says she trying to shoot her shot. Now Ashley, calm down now. So what's happening is at 4 months, a man is still getting to know you. So that's different. But what you have to do, well, you listen, don't worry about the videos for men. All these donations you done gave, man, listen here. Every video I do is for a man. If you just listen to it from the other side, if you listen to it as a man versus listening to it, don't listen to it like you a woman listening to it, or like I'm talking. You got to listen to it and say, okay, let me not be this guy. Okay, this is the type of guy a woman has to stay away from. Am I that guy? So you have to listen to it in a different way. But it would not do me any good to. Now I'm gonna do a man series. I talked to my wife about that. But only 5% of my views come from men. So it just would not be a smart use of my time to do a bunch of videos for men when 95% of my views come from women. The same thing with books. Books, 75% of books are read by women. So even in the publishing industry, as bad as I want to write books for men, they won't even let me. They won't even publish a book for men because only 25% of the readers are men. So it's just kind of the way it goes. But Ulysses, with the bag that you got on you, you could be doing one-on-one sessions. And I'm trying to get back to this later question. So what I was saying about the 4 months is that he's still learning you, but you didn't state what those deal breakers are. Now, if your deal breaker was him cheating on you, or him beating on you, or him abusing you verbally, any type of abuse or any type of cheating, then hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back. But if the deal breaker was like, he said I'm gonna call at 9 and then he called at 10, or he didn't call, then that's different. He's still learning you. Okay, she said cigarettes. Is that what you talking? We talking about the same person? Oh, nah. If she said cigarettes, if you talk about the same person that asked me the question about the deal breaker, then cigarettes, yeah, you're going to have to let him go. Because one thing nobody is going to beat is a an addiction. And nobody going to beat the addiction. You can't, if you up against a man and his addiction, you wasting every second of your time. Would you recommend Googling someone you are dating or interested in, especially if something doesn't add up? Also, when do you think is the right time to introduce children? If you have not Googled them, but you've thought about it, then that question you could have been typing in Google. You could have been Googling him right then. I Google him in a heartbeat. Google is your friend. Google is your matchmaker. Google is your consultant. Google is a life coach. Google is your friend. Google him in a heartbeat. You hear me? Google him. But not everybody gonna hit Google though, so you might not find what you're looking for. Is dating a man who cannot provide financially but is a good guy wise? Is it wise? Okay. In country we say wise like good guy wise, like that, like we use wise in it. So I was reading it a little different, like money wise. But you saying wise, like is it wisdom? If he has character, then he can get money. If he does not have character, then no amount of money will buy character. So I say that to say it also matters how old he is. Now, if he's, way up there, and he still is not where he needs to be financially, then that may be a reflection of his character. Because if you are honest and you hardworking and you loyal and you faithful, then you're gonna work a job and you're gonna get moved up the ladder in your job. And so that also says something. Now, if he's in his 20s, then that's totally different. When I met my wife, I didn't have a job. And then when I got a job, I was making $8.50 an hour. So she could have said to me, I can't marry this man. He can't provide. And she married me, and then she had to quit her job because our son was born early. And we had to live off of student loans, student refund checks, and my $8.50 an hour, which my pay was $20,000 a year. My wife student stuff was like $10K a year, and I think $20K a year, and mine was like $10K a year. So that was $30K from school, and then 20, so that was $50K. We'll pay all our bills and sometimes have 25 cents for 2 weeks to the next paycheck, but we made it because we had real love. So, and then now our life today is totally different because I instill my integrity and I instill my character, and I started living as a man of character, and that built me in the world. Let me see. Is this Coach Rod? Hey, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hey, God bless you, brother. Okay, we got a few men in here now. I don't know what y'all up to. Men a lot of times we don't trust each other, but I appreciate y'all trusting me. Now I gotta try to trust y'all. Somebody done told y'all, hey, there's a lot of women over here and he lies. Now, hey, go here. So, hey, I hope y'all have good intentions. Well, all y'all ladies, if y'all end up in somebody DMs of Coach Rod or Ulysses and they dog you out, y'all send me a message and let me know so I could put the APB out on them and do a video on Coach Rod or Ulysses. But no, I respect any man that come, in here, talk about, learn about, listen about relationships. Can an insecure man, Miss 60510, I thank you so much. God bless you. Can an insecure man change? I keep meeting good on paper, successful, highly manipulative, controlling, fearful, and insecure men. To be honest with you, Miss 6510, you just described men. Really, you just describe humans. It's not just men, you just describe humans. So all of us gonna struggle like that. I find myself even today still having to fight insecurity. I'm 13 years in. I find myself even today still wanting to, say something to my wife when she doing too much kikiing at the soccer game with, one of the Caucasian men, and they be doing all that kikiing. It still go through my head. look back to the old me, and in my head, I'm like asking that question that men ask, like, so what you and him was talking about? Well, you sure was doing a lot of kikiing. He that funny? So what y'all? So I have to fight all of that in my head and just realize, Tony, come on now, you in a whole nother. Come on, man, come on. And so I say that to say that's humans, and as long as it doesn't become like for real, like abuse, like control, but just like little conversation here and there, that's kind of normal. How long does a woman need to wait on a guy to ask her on a date after they meet? To be honest with you, if a man is, you right, I'm human too, Nicole. If a man, Andrea, I thank you so much. God bless you. I really, really appreciate you. If a man is into you, he gonna ask you on a date ASAP. He literally gonna be asking you on a date that next day when he calls you. If he's really into you and he's available, he's gonna ask you on a date. Or well, some men may say, well, no, I need time to get to know her, so I give him that. He may talk to you a day, like for a couple hours, but then after that, he know you, and he gonna ask. He gonna ask. Hey y'all, my 60 minutes then hit, and I told my wife, I said, baby, last time, I did an hour and 20. I said, man, I wish I really could do 30 minutes, but it'd be hard when you see so many questions and you don't want to leave anybody hanging. Cause some people act like they question the only question in the world, and I mean, I have people DMing me mad with me. You ain't answered my question yet, and I'm like, man, am I on your payroll? You need to answer my question. I'm like, wow. I'm not finding Birth Your Book on Amazon or your website. Need to purchase that one. Birth Your Book is on TonyGaskinsAcademy.com. TonyGaskinsAcademy.com. And you got to scroll down. But before you buy Birth Your Book, look at the bundle that says Authorpreneur, just in case you want all of those courses in there, because it'll save you getting the bundle versus buying Birth Your Book and then going and buying the other courses that come after that. See Love, I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for your heart. Is it bad to date multiple men? I've been considering it to increase my odds of meeting the right person for me. No, it's not bad to date multiple men, because dating literally means going on dates. It means getting to know a man. It means being a friend. Now, it's bad to sleep with multiple men. Coach Rod was somebody that gave a donation to Cole, but it moved his name. You could click on the colorful things with the money, and certain people, they give a donation, and so they pop up. And so Coach Rod was one of them. So no, it's not a bad thing. The only thing is, you can't, if it get to where you calling Tom Jack and you calling Jack Tom, now you're doing the most. You're doing too much. But as long as you can keep track of it, and as long as you're not kissing them all, you're not sleeping with them all, and you're not telling any of them that y'all are exclusive. And when he say, if a man asks you, will you be my woman? Will you be my girl? Will you be my girlfriend? And you say yes, now you got to shut down everything else. But if he hasn't asked you that, and y'all just talking, y'all just kicking it, y'all just going out, then okay, cool. Talisha Lloyd, thank you so much. God bless you. Natasha, I really, really appreciate you. God bless you. How to politely hold a guy accountable early in dating. Just politely, just do it as if you talking to a friend at work. Do it as if you talking to somebody that you would talk politely to. And so you sit down and you have a conversation. You're not yelling, you're not cursing, you're not pointing your finger in his face, you're not going off. You literally just say, hey, I want to talk to you about a situation that happened, and y'all on the phone, and it really wasn't cool, and I really don't appreciate that. And if we're going to continue to move forward, I really won't be able to tolerate that. And so I just want to let you know, he may get an attitude and leave you for good. He may get defensive, what have you. Nobody likes to be checked, but you got to do that. Because if you ignore the little stuff, that's what makes him believe that you'll be okay with the big stuff. To Bella, she say, when they get to talking like that, let her and Share know. Hey, now, To Bella, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. To Bella and Share H, those right there, those my hitters right there now. They do not be playing. I done seen them both, To Bella and Share H. Anybody get sideways, I am gonna hate the day that I offend y'all. But anybody get sideways in them comments, they be on them. They be on them. Some people just understand you. Some people understand you. Some people can read you, and they can read me, and they can understand me, and they get my intentions. They understand my intention. They understand that what I'm trying to do. They understand why I'm here. And so even if I say something wrong, because all my videos, just like y'all see tonight, this off top of my dome. I didn't have these questions prepared. I'm just a vessel, of the Most High. And so they get that. They get that, okay, he's human. He may slip up and say something out of order, say something the wrong way because he talking. And I tell y'all the truth, when I do videos, I don't, like most people I talk to, they say, man, Tony, man, I'm working on my videos and man, I had to shoot it 5 times, 6 times. I keep having to stop. I shoot my video 1 time and I don't watch it back and I upload it. So I'm gonna have some missteps here and there. But the reason why I don't is because I just don't have the time to be doing that, because it's hard enough just to get a video up every day, let alone having to shoot it, watch it back, edit it, all of that. I just, I'm trying to get the stuff out there so I don't be having the time to go back through it. And they'll see that, and they'll see and they'll get where I'm coming from. And the people who come and trying to start fights and trying to be ignorant and just trying to sow discord, Share and To Bella, they be on them. They be on them. Coach Rod, I listen to all your videos, Tony. I learn a lot from you. There are still some good men out here. The reason why I support you, because I'm a real man of God. Keep up the good work, brother. Hey, Coach Rod, I really, really appreciate you, brother. I really appreciate you. And man, we need to go and start a movement, and just I hope more men are willing to grow and just become better men every day. We all imperfect, but I really appreciate your example and what you're doing, and just showing up here, because you could be here and be quiet and be spectating, like a lot of men do, but you actively supporting, and I appreciate that, brother. How soon is too soon for a man to ask you to enter in a relationship? It's really not too soon, if unless he needs you. If a man doesn't need you financially, he don't need a place to stay, he doesn't need you as a rebound because he just broke up with a woman yesterday, then a man knows when he knows. I knew from the first day I sat down with my wife, that was my wife. So you just have to look at the circumstances. If he homeless, then okay, that's a red flag. If he asking you to be with you and you got a place to stay. He carless and you got a car, that's a red flag. He needs some money and you got money, that's a red flag. But when a man does not need you for anything and he's serious about you, then you gotta just weigh your spirit and see. Ulysses, my brother, my brother, my brother, my brother. Whew, man, I'm gonna have to be your matchmaker if you single, cause man, you really showed up tonight. God bless you. And let me know, Ulysses, when you get that blessing that I done prayed on you tonight. Let me know. Listen here, Ulysses. I was telling my wife earlier today, I said, baby, man, hey, I'm going to have to go strip. I say, man, because my funds tight. Ulysses came in. The Lord say, man, just get online, man. You ain't got to go up there and strip no more. I ain't never strip, but I was telling my wife, she said, well, go ahead, go on up there. And Ulysses came up here and blessed me. Tony, how should a man pray to meet a woman better, find his wife? I feel like I've been praying for it so long that I must be praying wrong, even though I have faith and put my trust in the Lord. The thing about it is, Ulysses, and I think I'm gonna try to end this on Ulysses' question, cause my wife don't really care about me serving. She doing a whole bunch of stuff right now. Sunday is her work night, so she let me work, cause she iron all the clothes for the week and do all this stuff. So she let me work. But you listen, I tell you this, and this what you're gonna have to realize is the women that you meet, the women you come in contact with, you have to look at them and you gotta pray to God for his lenses, for his vision, so that you see her. Hold on before I finish that, because Antagona, she keep asking a question, and I need to try to read this and remember it before I finish hers. I used to call my ex Crown, and the girl's name was Princess. And the girl's name was Princess. I wonder if he loved the girl he tried to cheat on me with, and why introducing the girl to me. Oh, okay, you the one asked a question about introducing the girl to me. No, they ain't had nothing to do with it. But you listen, you got to pray to God that you have his lenses and his vision so that you see her the way he sees her. And so what I mean by that is when we look at people the way God looks at them, he's judging their heart. He's not judging anything else but their heart. And height, weight, income, complexion, all of these other things, he's not judging any of that. Hey, good night to all of y'all. Got to go to bed. God bless you. And this will be archived so you can go back and fast forward to where you had to let off at, and catch the rest if you want. God bless y'all. So that's what you have to ask. And even with my wife, me being in the South, being around women with derrieres, I was used to that. My wife had a different shape. And so had I just been looking through my eyes, I would have said, well, she not shaped like this, so let me keep it moving. But I looked at her and I had to look at her through God's eyes. And then guess what? Now, 13 years, well, really it's been since probably 8, 9, 10 years. Now she has the shape that I was desiring when I got married. She grew into it. After 2 kids, her body changed. But I realized my vision was being superficial at the time when I was 21 and I'm looking around. And so sometimes we looking at a person through our lenses. We praying to God, but we keeping our lenses on instead of looking at people through the way he wants to look at them. But hey, thank you so much. God bless you. Erica, I really thank you. God bless you. I hope you plan to do a book tour for the new book. Hey, y'all do me a favor before you go, or tonight. My new book is called A Woman's Influence. A Woman's Influence. And it's with my wife. It's me and my wife. And please pre-order the book. It does not charge your card now. It'll authorize it, but then it falls off in a couple of days. But then it'll reauthorize your card next April 6th. April 6th on 2020. But if you pre-order Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever books are sold, if you pre-order it, it lets the publisher know how many orders coming in so that they know how many books to print. So it's called A Woman's Influence. Is the book for men and women to read. Yes, it is. And you can read Make It Work. You can read Make It Work if you rather read that. But A Woman's Influence, it is. I think every book is for men and women to read, because I could read something for a woman and still get knowledge. A woman read something or listen to something for a man and still apply the message to her. Thank you, Naturally Me, for pre-ordering it on Amazon. Singles retreat, not necessarily a singles retreat, but next year I'm doing a self-love retreat. It'll be in the Redwood Mountains of California. I think the end of July, beginning of August. But hey, God bless y'all. I went another, hour plus, hour and 15. God bless y'all. Hey, Cher got to go to bed. Good night, Cher. When Cher got to go to bed, I got to go to bed. When my security guard got to leave, I got to leave. But God bless y'all, and we will talk soon. For everybody that blessed me tonight, That $157, look here. That thing came right on time. You hear me? Got bill collectors calling me left and right. And the bill collector probably on his YouTube, on his live. Now he gonna hit and ignore it all day. And now he on Instagram. Like, give him a call now. Give him a call now. But I put my phone on do not disturb because the bill collectors, they started tracking you and they want to call you while you working. And so they kept always interrupting my lives with them 1-800 numbers. So I put it on do not disturb. But hey, God bless y'all. We'll talk soon.